Hello and welcome to DCP SideQuest, episode number 133, the Elden Ring Community Podcast Edition, episode number 3.
Yes, that is the
Podcast.
full title.
Yeah, full title.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there colon in there?
You can, it's choose your own punctuation. That's our yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, right?
It's just like Twitter.
Never know what you're going to get. How are you guys doing?
Good. I think my brain's
Melted?
gone.
Yeah. The
Been
madness?
I'm on like kind of a post Elden Ring hangover, like postpartum depression. You know, like I beat the game. I went back and I did like some stuff. Like I found a dragon that I hadn't killed, like a pretty, one that was in the achievements, and a couple other things. And I started like looking for the legendary weapons that I missed because there's an achievement for that. But it's just not the same once you beat the game,
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm trying to do everything before I beat the game. I'm trying really hard to like tackle absolutely everything.
Yeah, I just didn't know about these things until after I beat the game because I didn't want spoilers. Like, I was telling Tefty, the only things that I would look up were things that I knew what specifically I was looking for because, like a NPC, like how to finish an NPC quest because I just didn't know where they went, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's kind of my approach. I've been doing things as well. I'm trying to be as like thorough as possible when I come across an NPC. I should have started what Watts did. It was like have a notebook, leisure.
A notebook.
It's been helpful.
That was the best idea.
Yeah. That would have been so good. But like I'm 35 hours into the game so far. And like it keeps blowing me away constantly. I'm just like, it's amazing. I beat Radahn over the weekend.
Nice.
Can you tell us what zones you've opened up? I beat Radahn late in the game. Like I had already beaten the golden area, like the autumn area.
Yeah.
I haven't fully beaten that. Like there's the guy that's guarding the door to the Yeah, he keeps kicking
the horseback guy.
I only have 15 points in vigor. And like I don't plan on putting more points in vigor. I'm just planning on blocking and praying. Dodge, block, and pray is my motto.
Beat that guy Tefty by sneaking up behind him and poisoning him. And the poison, like I used the poison mist, right? And that does about 1,000 damage for about a minute and a half. And then I hit him again. But he doesn't move if you don't hit him with an actual weapon. If you just sneak up behind him and hit him,
He doesn't move. He doesn't move. I've ran up to him and then he does his thing. He's like, "All right, bitch," and like we go at it.
You gotta sneak around.
That's hilarious.
He doesn't move if you're. That's hilarious.
I was gonna try and just sneak through the door without him fucking with me.
It's the fog,
but that didn't work.
Yeah.
So then I snuck up behind him and poisoned him, and he didn't move. So I poisoned him again. He still didn't move. So the next 20 minutes of my life were just repeatedly poisoning him until he was dead.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just hilarious. What I'm doing, there's a summon right there, so you can summon the dude that he's there with the Radahn fight as well. I can't remember his name. Actually, maybe he isn't there.
Blythe?
He's got like a big hammer.
Blythe.
No, not Blythe.
No.
No, he's not there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So there's a summon that you can do right there, and then I'm summoning the jellyfish, which poisons over time. And I've actually got it down to like a quarter of life left, but then my summons die, and he was poisoned. And if you run away from him, he does this like lightning strike that.
Oh
yeah. I mean, at 15 vigor, like I'm,
I have something to say about vigor because all these people are like, magic is so overpowered and summons. You know what is the most overpowered? It's just having a crap ton of vigor because you get hit twice and like teeny amount of your bar is gone. I get hit twice, I'm dead. So stacking vigor and just like face tanking everything is like the easiest way to play the game.
Yeah, when I beat the game, I had 55 vigor and really heavy ass armor.
Hey, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I've basically been stocking strength, faith, and a bit of dexterity. And then I've only recently begun putting stuff into endurance because like I can't equip like everything that I want without fat rolling, so I have to be pantsless most of the time to rock some of the great swords that I'm using.
That's Souls fashion right there.
It is. Yeah. I'm like, if I put a talisman on, it's suddenly I'm fat rolling. I'm like, crap.
Yeah. I hated that because every once in a while I'd change up my talismans for like a boss fight or something.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'd be in the boss fight and realize, oh shit, I'm fat rolling. What's going on here? And like a talisman had been like 0.1 heavier than the last one.
Yeah.
And put me over the edge. I was like, oh man.
You know, I don't think, did we have a show post patch? I think that was after Monday, right?
Yeah. That was after Monday. Yeah.
So the patch is out. Big patch.
Yeah.
Rip your mimic.
I didn't use it.
No, I was using it up until, well, I used it all the way through the game, but it got significantly weaker after that patch.
It's still super tanky.
How do you get the mimic, actually?
Yeah.
Further.
It's just,
Further? Oh, further. Okay.
Further.
But
the moment the patch notes hit, I ran in respect. This is the second I sprinted to my PlayStation to respect. So I'm now heavy arcane, all the way in on arcane, and
all the way in.
A little bit of faith to use some of the arcane faith spells, and then enough dexterity to use the weapon that I'm using.
Can you?
Now I'm happy.
What weapon are you using?
I'm using a certain pole blade.
Okay.
That is blood and flame, both. And I wanted to use it this whole time, but it was broken. You couldn't use them. So now I'm super happy because coming into Elden Ring, I normally don't use magic at all, but the magic looked really cool. I was like, I want to be able to get some of the magic and be excited about it. But I've learned magic, not for me. Don't enjoy it. And now I'm finally living out my dreams of being a blood spinning Darth Maul.
I was gonna say, what is arcane stat? Like, what does it do in the game?
It's about status effects mostly. So you'll build up blood loss faster, poison, scarlet rot, and it's required.
It also gives you access to the dragon magic.
Yeah, so a lot of the dragon magic is faith and arcane, so you can dabble in that as well.
Commune with the dragon heart.
Yes.
Yeah, the coolest one of those I got. It summons, like, you got to jump in the air, and then it summons the dragon, and he sprays like laser beam lightning back, like across the battlefield, then back across the battlefield, and then laser beam pinpoints the biggest baddie and does like 4 grand of damage.
Wow, that sounds good.
Pretty baller.
I'm just spitting on people with a stinky dragon breath.
Yeah, that's pretty good though.
Rot
too.
breath, yeah.
That got me through
the
giant redhead. No.
Yeah, a lot of people were using, because Radon in the story it says like he's weak to scarlet rot, so people were just like spitting scarlet rot at him and running away. And then they'll come back through it again and run away.
I read about that actually because I was curious what he was weak to, but I didn't have the build to be able to rock that the garbage breath, the dragon garbage breath, vomit breath. So I used that winged scythe to make him bleed. Like actually my strategy for the Radon fight was initially I tried just hanging back and letting the summons do all the work. And well, it took a lot of time, and then I just died to a fireball. Like at a certain point, I was like, I didn't know who was still up, so I'm running around the battlefield looking for the summon signals, you know. So then I switched my strategy towards just like getting all the summons going, and then face tanking him with the winged scythe because he's weak to bleed as well, or it seems like it. Blood loss will proc pretty easily with him, and then as soon as he went like into his meteor phase. Then I ran and got the rest of the summons. It was like, all right, summons, do your work. He's almost dead.
I threw gravity rocks at him.
Nice. I rode around him in circles and picked up summons until I felt like I had it open, and I go in there, I get like a couple hits off, jump back on my horse, get the fuck out.
Yeah, I was like, I am playing like a pansy in this fight, let me tell you.
Well, so I was telling Briar, I think it's actually really cool because it makes you feel like a general summoning your army to go after this beast.
Yeah.
Or to go after the general.
Yeah, I really like
completely
that.
original too. Like it's not like any of the other boss fights. It's not like any other boss fight in like deep.
Yeah, I really enjoyed where it's like this big festival and you're all coming together to take down this demigod who's conquered the stars. Like that was a really really cool thing.
And the reward is so good, like with the little like surprise ending at the end of that.
I still have yet to find where the meteor crashed. I don't want to look it up.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't want to
I
spoil it.
don't know how I figured it out. I was like, think I looked at the map and then I was just like, okay, where would this
Does
kind
it
of make
say?
sense?
If you
I
look
don't know.
at
It
it,
tells you.
if you look at it, you could see it's going west of Kaled. But like
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
looked, I can't really tell where
So I
it
think that's
hit.
I think that's what I did. I was like, well, this place is closest to Kaled, but not in Kaled. And then I just looked in the
Yeah.
sky and I was like, rocks.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Nice rocks.
That's got to be the place.
Oh man! Also, what I didn't realize is Radahn is when I was reading about that, Radahn is an optional boss. That's what
Yeah.
it said.
Yeah, I don't think you'd
Isn't that
think
crazy?
a lot of it's optional. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy that Radahn is optional?
I think like probably like half the game is optional. You know, like the golden path of the game. Like you don't have to do most of the stuff. It's almost like a lot of it is optional. But
Yeah.
like
So
what's
the reason why I know that is because I looked up Ranni's quest because I ran into
Right.
Ranni up in the tower. I was like, oh, the witch is back. This is crazy. Ranni the witch.
Yeah.
Also not her, or she's Ranni instead of what's her. She first calls
Yeah.
it.
Rena.
Yeah, what
I
do
don't
they
know
call-
if you could do that quest without looking it up. Like I know I wouldn't. There's a certain part where you have to be in a specific place and do a very specific thing to continue that quest.
Yeah.
That I would know. There's no way I would have like caught
Well,
that
first off,
naturally.
you have to run into Rena at the church. To like, actually, I guess you don't have to do that to start a quest.
No,
but,
you don't. Yeah,
because you didn't.
I didn't. She never showed up. Yeah. So the first time I ever saw her was up at the Three Sisters,
Yeah.
like way up north. And
Yeah,
then
that was a
the
surprise.
first time I ever talked to her in my game.
I still have
I'm
yet to kill that
pretty
dragon
deep
too.
in that quest at the
Yeah.
moment. Pretty
Yeah.
deep. Pretty deep. Getting towards the end of Ronnie's quest.
Nice.
Well, it goes places. It's I think the best story beat in the game.
Wow.
That's probably why everyone loves her.
Alright.
It's pretty well, she's also
I
just
think they
kinda
love her
great.
because she's hot.
Yeah.
I
of a
saw
Ranni
I saw
crush,
something on
right?
Reddit that was like a poll of what's your ideal number of hands in a partner, and after Elden Ring it shot up to 4.
Oh man. But yeah, that's how I knew or read about it being optional for Radahn. I was like, hold up, Radahn? Like these massive game-changing boss fights.
That
Can be
opens a
optional.
whole other area because of the
Yeah.
meteor.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at your achievement list, like half of the stuff in there is completely optional. Like you could completely miss it.
I love that so much about this
Yeah,
game.
me too.
That
Yeah.
it's
Me
got
too.
so much you could just gloss over, and yet it's so refined.
I honestly wish I had been less thorough about going through it the first time, so that my second playthrough there'd be more to see. There's only one like NPC quest line that I really missed that opened up an area that I missed.
Well, you could always
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
you could always approach it with a different build. I've been thinking about actually going in with a strictly
Yeah.
like magic build or something just to see, because you can get like magic swords and
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah, I was
So
thinking about doing
Moonveil
a Dex
Katana.
Magic build.
yeah.
But I'll probably give it some time because there's other games I want to play right now. So I'll probably give it some time. Maybe when the Steam Deck comes out, that's where that'll get me going on a second
Sure.
build. Plus, with what they did with the 1.03 patch, like what's going to be in the 1.04 patch and the 1.05 patch, right? Is like more NPCs, like giving out like quests and stuff. Like
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna do an expansion?
I
Probably.
hope so. Because I like
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3 had an expansion. Sekiro didn't though.
Sekiro, yeah.
Sekiro didn't.
Sekiro didn't have an
Dark Souls
expansion.
did. Bloodborne did.
Bloodborne did, Dark Souls 2 did.
Yeah,
Can you
Is it
Dark Souls
imagine
only
3
that?
did.
Sekiro that didn't? Demon Souls didn't, right?
Demon Souls didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine them adding to this game?
Yes.
Please do.
I mean, it feels like you're playing an expansion,
Amazing.
like when you find some of the zones that are like, wait, what? Holy shit. Oh,
man.
no, it's got its own map.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
I went to the underworld area and I was like, "There's an underworld. This is insane." Watts, you had mentioned like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, there's an under part," and I was like, "Under part?
Yeah.
Oh my
It was
god."
an Yeah, and then
Jesus.
you're like, oh, it's just a small little underpart, and then you're like, oh, Okay.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
a little place.
I officially reached 100 hours. I think it was on Friday. And I'm like halfway, maybe.
Nice.
Probably slightly
Yeah.
less than halfway.
It does wrap up quick. Like, I don't know. Have you been up to the fire giant yet?
No.
Once you do
I
that, then it's
just
like
reached like
boom,
I
boom,
can
boom.
go to the snow place, but I hadn't finished up doing everything in Caelid. I haven't been to Volcano Manor at all yet.
Oh
Uh,
shit!
so I got
There's some
lots to do.
decisions that have to be made.
Oh, I'm going to I'm doing Vare's quest. I'm doing his
Yeah.
quest. Yeah.
Guys, I hate to I know this is the
Elden Ring
Ring
podcast.
community podcast,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
I've been playing a little Gran Turismo 7, and I
Were you
want
able
to
to
talk
log
about it a
into the
little bit.
servers?
Yes, the servers are back up. That's
good.
I mean, that's issue 1 is right. The DRM is so fucking crazy in this game that the servers went down and you couldn't log into it, even if you had like a disc copy. You couldn't play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Right? And that the servers were down like for 30 hours last week when the game was like just released. So that really pissed people off. But that's not even it. The real problem with that is that when the game, eventually they're going to shut those servers off and you're just not going to be able to play the game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Like the game's just going to die. Which really sucks for a single player game. Most people play Gran Turismo games as a single player game. There are people who do like to race online, and the racing online is really fully featured, and you can really customize the races in really cool ways. But man, like I was playing this game, and I am so torn on it. Like the DRM thing, that's an issue. That's a big issue. Also, the game is just ripe with microtransactions, and they clearly balance the in-game economy around those microtransactions, and they're not done yet because when the game was reviewed, those microtransactions weren't in the game. They didn't add them until release day. They pulled one of those. Like the reviewers never got to see that, so all the reviews that got posted on release day, they never saw the microtransactions, and they're expensive. Some cars can cost up to $40, like real money dollars.
What the heck?
And like I'm still early in the game. I've only got about 8 hours into the game. So far, the progression is kind of funny. Is like it has this like cafe that you go to. You drink coffee. Luca, your server, comes with a menu and he serves you like kind of what's on your plate for racing today. And like so, for instance, he'll give you a menu that has like 3 French hatchbacks, like hot hatchbacks, right? Okay. And your job now is to go out and race in 3 races around the world against other hatchbacks using these French hot hatchbacks, right? Which is kind of cool, right? And then you go back to Luca and he gives you like a reward, and each one of those races gives you a car. And you start off like that. And of course, like any other Gran Turismo game, you start slow. You start with the slow cars, like a little hybrid Honda Fit or an original Mini Cooper, right? So, and then you build up as you play the game. You build up to faster cars. You do your license tests. It starts with the B license, the A license, and so on. That's always how they've worked. So I haven't hit the point where I need a modified Ferrari to compete in this race. And when I do, is the game's economy going to give me enough money to pay for that, or I'm going to have to grind for 10 hours to buy that car? Or am I going to just be like confronted with a choice where I have to pay $10 or $20 to buy the car so I can continue in the game? That'll be the real question to me. Like how bad the actual in-game economy is.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like, unless you want to like skip significant portions of the game, you never have to deal with any of that.
That's good.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm too early in the game to really tell you. So far, it's been like the game just gives you a car to compete in the next logical event. And then by competing in that event, you gain more cars for the next event, Okay. So it may be the biggest complaints are coming from people who are just trying to, they don't care about racing, a 98 Honda Civic around the track for 4 hours. They just want to skip to,
the Ferrari.
The Ferrari or the whatever. The McLaren, who knows? So I don't know. but it's something to definitely be careful. The game though is so fucking crazy, man. It's like people are calling it like car porn, the game, but it's not car porn. Car porn, like porn, has this like kind of like dirty, seedy, nasty.
It's like so porn is.
This is so respectful, right? It's so respectful. This is like the people who just like
car pinups.
I guess it's like they just worship these things. It's like they have a mode where you can go and just take pictures of your car and you can put it in all sorts of backgrounds, like in the forest, in the on a mountainside, and there's like 1,500 like locations.
Wow.
That you can take pictures of your car in. You can position your car. You can put your driver in there. You can add all sorts of photo effects. The game is the best looking car racing game I've ever seen. And I think some people would disagree. They think Forza looks better, but I think this game looks more like real cars, where Forza has like almost like a cartoonish look to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. This game, they've modeled clear coat in this game. Like the clear coat. So there's the base coat, that's the color, the pigment, and then the clear coat on top of that. And they've modeled that in this game. And they use ray tracing to really show it off. It looks fucking incredible.
Isn't the ray tracing
looks outstanding?
Doesn't that only happen on replays or something? Not actually during the game?
Only happens on replays. That's correct. But that's the only time you're really going to be able to see like the detail of your mirror, like in your paint anyway. It's like you're not looking at that when you're racing. You're just racing.
True. Yeah.
And the racing's fucking good. It's fast. It feels good. It's got the best. When it rains on some tracks, it's like your car feels so squirrely when it's raining. It's the best like. It's the best representation of trying to race in the rain that I've ever like felt in my entire life. It just feels amazing. But there's all sorts of like weird decisions. Like the UI is just it's awful. It's like you have to click like 18 times to get to a race. Like anywhere you have to go, you have to click. Okay, I want to go to the race. Okay, click. All right, I want to go. It gives you a choice between like Europe, America, or China. I want to go to China. Okay. Now you got like 7 racetracks. Okay, I'll pick this racetrack. Okay, now you got like 18 different events. Okay, I'll pick this event. Okay, now which car are you gonna use? I'll pick this car. All right, what time of day do you want to do? I'll do this time of day. It's like, what the fuck, man? I just want to race the car. And then, like, if let's say you're doing one of those menus, you want to go back to your menu. There's an icon on the top of the thing that says, like, here's what's going on with your menu. So you think you could just click up there when you're done with the race and, like, complete that. But it just shows you your progress. It doesn't bring you to the cafe so you can actually do it. You got to click another 18 times, to get to there. And, like, the PlayStation 5 is fast and it loads things fast, but when you're loading, like, multiple screens in succession to go through, like, nested layers of UI, it's like, at first it's like, okay, you're just checking all this stuff out, but, like, 14 races in on a single day of playing, it's like, what the fuck, man? Just let me play the game. Like, why am I dealing with all this? And, like, Luca is a really nice guy, and he really wants to share with you his excitement over French about French hot hatches.
Shut up.
But, like, I don't really care that much about French hot hatches. I don't care what the first ones were, and like he really wants to tell you all about French hot hatches and show you like pictures of the 3 French hot hatches that you won.
He's a
but
fan.
Like, I just want to get to the part. Like, I bought a Mustang and I played the arcade mode for fucking 2 hours because I just wanted to race, right? I just wanted to race. I think the racing is phenomenal.
You don't want race.
It looks awesome.
You just want to race. No purpose, just race.
I just want to race. I just want to drive my Mustang. I want to do fat fucking power slides around corners in my Mustang with a fucking. The car customization is also amazing. It's like you can get so deep into the car customization. It's ridiculous. It's like you can do surface level stuff, like just give yourself like a burble tune exhaust, so it just sounds like bah, 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 like really fucking cool. But you can like adjust the front height of your suspension, the rear height of your suspension, the camber of your tires, the toe in, the toe out, like everything, anything you could possibly imagine. You can buy a turbocharger that gives you more low end power, more medium end power, more high end power. You really got to decide. What kind of track are you racing? Do you want better high-end gears? Do you want better low-end gears? Do you want better acceleration? Do you want better top speed? Like, what's going on here? Just let me fucking race. Like, I love that it's all there. It's really cool. But, like, Sometimes you just want to race. What I really like though is you get to go, like, you learn the tracks, you learn the car.
Yeah.
What drove me crazy about Forza is that you always had to keep like the driving lines on in Forza. Otherwise, you had no idea where you're going to go, right? The line that they lay down, the colored line they lay down in the middle of the road, and it turns red when you need to hit the brakes, and it turns green when you need to, hit the accelerator, and it shows you which side of the road you want to be on so you can hit the apex on a corner. Because you've never been on this road before. You've never done this race before. When you're doing track racing, like in Gran Turismo, you learn the track, so you don't need that. It's not on the road. You can turn it on if you want it, but like I like it better with it turned off. So like once you've learned the track, you know where your braking points are. The tree right before the grid, the guardrail starts. That's where I want to hit my brakes so that I can make it around this corner. Like that kind of thing. That's like, I don't know. It's a different kind of driving than Forza. It's a different kind of racing game than Forza. It's much more jazz than rock and roll, if that makes sense.
Sounds like a job.
It's a little like jazz porn, but classy.
Yeah, classy jazz porn.
I guess.
That's a review.
But also, ultimately, it's like they call it the real driving simulator. But like, if you're really that into this kind of a thing, then I would have imagined that you've already gone to PC with a full VR setup and gone to like iDrive or a set of Corsa, something like that, where you really feel like you're inside the car. Like you've got the steering wheel, you've got the pedals, you've got the VR helmet. I hope this game offers VR support when the PSVR 2 comes out, because I think that would really step it up.
I guess that's the question, right? Like the new PlayStation VR could potentially try to take that seat of like the premiere experience in VR. Yeah.
If they offer VR support in this game, I think it would really be a game changer. Like, because VR is so immersive when you're playing driving games. Oh, one more thing. The DualSense controller is next level. Like, I always use a steering wheel to play racing games, but in this game, I haven't really felt like I need to. I can play on the couch and just lean back. Like the gas and the brake, with the resistive controls, like it really gives you a good feel of like when you're losing grip with your brakes. You could feel like expansive joints of the road. You can feel when your transmission, if you're in an automatic transmission, you can feel it like clunk and like shift in the car. Like it's really next level. The DualSense controller is amazing for this game. Like they just take advantage of it so well. However, battery life. Oh man, this thing is rumbling the whole time.
Oh man, I bet it just
every time you go around a corner, it's like, and it is just, I actually timed it today. I was playing all day today. I timed it to a fresh battery charge. And how long it started complaining? Like the PlayStation says,
yeah,
you need to charge 3.5 hours.
Ooh, wow, that's not long.
No.
That's not long.
That's not long at all.
So. Yeah, I got more to say, but I'll spare you.
Jazz sex.
Yeah,
jazz sex.
Jazz porn
with a very long UI.
18 button presses before you can get into the actual action. And Luca, always telling you about the crap you don't need to know.
Luca loves French things. That's what I've learned.
He does. There's coffee and the Clio.
Yeah, does he serve you like a cappuccino before you race?
Yeah, the menu, you open the menu and it's just got cars in it. It's like, Luca, I don't think you know what cafe means.
Like, Luca, come on, man. I came here for a coffee.
Fucking thirsty.
Are you going to keep playing it as they update it?
Yes, 100% I'm going to keep playing it. I'm enjoying the racing of it tremendously. And I want to unlock more cars, and I really do like it. There's annoyances, and I'm hoping that I don't run into a wall where I feel like I have to start going with the microtransactions.
That server thing is a real like eye opener, man. They could patch it ideally, but if they did code it in a way where it requires a server for any of that stuff to work, then that's a huge yikes. Because it's got a limited shelf life.
What we railed against when Don Matrick introduced the Xbox One.
Right.
It was that future that he was talking about, always online. You need to be online to play your games. And this Gran Turismo 7 needs to be online to play your games.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, though, like if you look at Destiny doesn't work without being connected to servers and the whole server thing and all that.
It's not a single player game, though.
Yeah, I mean, you could technically play there's a good chunk that you can play single player, but you're right. Like, Gran Turismo is, you load up a simulation.
Yeah.
Simulations aren't inherently MMOs.
Right.
Yeah. Well, racing simulations anyways. Yeah.
I mean, even Elden Ring works without the server. Like, you don't get like the messages and the blood stains, but it still works. You know, people have modified Elden Ring to run above a 60 FPS on PC.
Really?
Doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what else they're doing on PC? They're invading people and corrupting their save.
Heard about that.
My answer was going to be porn, but same.
Elden Ring porn.
Elden Ring. It's like porn, but like rock and roll. Definitely
rock and roll porn.
Dragon Not on bad. Dragon.
Four-handed porn. Here we go.
Well, this week is another big week for video game releases.
Yeah.
Tiny Tina's Wonderland coming out on Friday.
Is that Friday?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot it was coming out this week. I've been in been in the Elden Ring fog. I can't see anything past it.
What are the chances you play that day one, Tefty?
Oh man. I really want to play it, but
I really want to play it day one too, but I'm just like then I'm doing what, 3 games? But once I'm never gonna finish Elden Ring at that point.
Right. I really wanted to play Tunic as well, and apparently Tunic's great.
Tunic looks so good.
Haven't touched it. Yeah.
No, me neither.
Ghostwire Tokyo is also coming out this week, and reviews dropped today.
Really?
What are they good?
So I watched like 4 videos. I looked around at some written reviews and stuff, and it seems like it's averaging about an 8 out of 10.
Not bad.
That's pretty good.
But so it's really, it seems to be really weird because people are like saying some really awful, well, not awful things about it, but they have a lot of criticism about it. But then they also have a lot of praise. So what I've generally heard is that the world of Ghostwire Tokyo is incredible to be in. Just how they've recreated Tokyo in the game, all of the enemy design. One reviewer I listened to said that this is his like favorite enemy design he's had in years. But then on the same hand, the like story is like not that great. It's okay. The combat is also just okay. But it's funny because they start their review and they're like, this is okay. The story's not very interesting. Some of the side quests are kind of meh. They're like, but I love this game so much. So I think it's done from what it sounds like is that it's doing an incredible job of just the world and the feeling of being in the world, and all of the spirits and ghosts and the monsters look really amazing.
IGN gave it a 7 out of 10, and I can relate to loving an IGN 7 out of 10. As a Destiny fan.
6 out of 10, Briar.
Yeah, I thought it was 6 out of 10 for Destiny.
And it seems like it's going to be kind of one of those games where it's like if it resonates with you and you connect with this game, you're going to love it. But if you don't, you're not going to love it because there's some big negatives to it. But it seems really unique, and I'm always down to check out a game that does unique things, and especially hearing that the world is really engrossing. I want to check it out eventually.
Cool.
This sounds like a game that as soon as it goes on discount for about half price, I'm going to snatch it up.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that way too, because there's no way that I'm going to suddenly drop Elden Ring to play that game.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, this will be like maybe a summer game. I'll play it in the summer or something.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That sounds great.
Nothing happening.
A nice $20 discount on the PS5 version, maybe 30, maybe 30. I don't want to get greedy.
4th of July sale.
Yeah.
America sale.
You got a little Amazon credit kicking around.
I need to play Strangers of Paradise.
You know those arcade 1-ups? Yes. That came out last week, right?
That came out last week, and people are like all over the place with it. But the resounding thing that I hear is, this is stupid, and I love it.
Chaos.
Chaos. Random Limp Biscuit.
That is exactly what I've heard too, Watts, and that makes me want to play it more and more. It's like every time I hear somebody talk about this game, they're like, "This is stupid and awesome." I'm like, okay, sign me up. That sounds exactly like my kind of game.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait.
Yeah, is that one out? Is that a PlayStation exclusive, or is that on everything?
It's on Epic. It came out, I think, 4 days early on PlayStation, but it is also on Epic.
Okay. I'm kind of in a PlayStation gaming space right now. Every game I go to seems to be on the PlayStation for some reason.
Same.
I don't like buying games on the Xbox because they don't come on the disc. Like, you buy the disc, and the disc has the Xbox One version, not the Xbox Series version. So again, when those servers eventually go down, I won't have any of those games. I'll have the discs of the Xbox One version, not the Xbox Series version, which sucks. Like, you can't buy Halo Infinite on a disc. It doesn't exist. Like, they'll sell you a disc that says Halo Infinite on it, but that fucking game's not on there, or the campaign's not, at least. And I don't like that. So it's like, if I'm gonna buy a game, I'd rather buy the PlayStation version and actually get the game on the disc, so that, in 15 years, if I'm like, damn, I wouldn't mind going back and playing some Ghostwire Tokyo, I can do it.
With the day one release, no day one patch that might fix everything.
Having any access to it at all.
True.
True.
Ideally, at that point, they've figured out this problem, and it's not an issue anymore. Well,
I haven't heard any solution to it. Have you guys?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Ideally, at that point, they've maybe figured out restoration for digital media that could go the wayside.
Maybe. Mod your Xbox Series X.
Maybe. There was a state of play talking about Hogwarts Legacy. Also, did you guys see that?
I didn't.
I saw the first 5 minutes of it. Yeah.
I'm not gonna play the game, so I just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen like screenshots and people talking about it, but I didn't watch the full thing.
Seems like you got to go to classes and do like schoolwork. Am I crazy?
Yeah, and
it's like a full
tend to your slave.
What?
Tend to your slave and stop the goblins from acquiring freedom. Usually.
A lot of criticism about those goblins being stand-ins for Jews in the Hogwarts world.
Yeah. They've clearly put in a lot of work into making like the Hogwarts thing come to life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it looked kind of cool, but I'm not that big into Harry Potter, really. So it's like, kind of a non-starter. Like, I read the books like 10 or 15 years ago and I enjoyed them, but I don't know. That day is so far over. Like, the movies are all over. The
Briar's
books
like,
are all
listen,
over.
this was 15 years ago. Get over
it. This lady's busy being crazy on Twitter. We're going to give her more money? Are we doing that? We gave her so much already.
Oh, man. Well, I didn't know what to expect, honestly, because like I wasn't sure if they were doing like a multiplayer thing. It's clearly not multiplayer. At least I'm pretty sure it's not multiplayer.
Yeah, it didn't look like it.
It's all single player type of stuff, and like it seems like they've done a lot of making the world come to life there. The only thing is, when I saw it, it looked like the combat might be a lot of just hit buttons and make this happen type of thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to feeling intricate. But I don't know, because it was kind of slow with the way they chained combos together. And that was my thing. It's like, if you're going to be a wizard in that world, you want that stuff to like be like bam, 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 when you're fighting stuff.
Yeah.
You want to feel like you're wielding magic instead of just watching an animation happen constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Didn't they have to say the spell before they could shoot it out though?
In the
unless you're like a speed talker, it's only so fast you can be.
No, but like there's ways that you could like it in the demo, it looked like the enemies were standing there waiting for you to cast a spell.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
Like that doesn't seem interesting. I want there to be action when casting a spell. That's what I'm just trying to say. I'm not articulating correctly.
This game looked impressive. It looked like if I was a big Harry Potter fan, I'd probably be all over this, but it's just not hitting any of those G spots. You know what I'm
saying? Anything else last week?
Oh, I don't know. There's so many games that are just coming out constantly. Oh, you know what I did do? This happened last week. It's not new, but I played Monster Hunter Rise on my Steam Deck.
Oh, nice.
Oh, how was it?
It's better than the Switch version.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
It runs really well, like super smooth.
Yeah.
Initially, the loading, which is the case, I think, on just the regular Steam version anyway, like when it's compiling the shaders, takes a little bit. But after
Oh, like
the
for the first
initial,
install.
Yeah.
yeah, for the first time loading it up, it took a little bit.
Yeah.
But it works perfectly. No frame drops. Looks great. Frame rate, I can't tell if it's 60. It's definitely more than Switch though, for sure.
There's a button to put a overlay on your games on
Oh,
that.
isn't there? I should do that.
Yeah, so you can do like performance metrics on the left-hand side of the screen.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, I'd like to see what it exactly was running at. But it was running great. So I was like, hey,
That's good.
maybe I can actually get caught up and ready for the Sunbreak on PC because I've played like nothing. Now that I can play it on the Steam Deck.
You played most of it on the Switch, and there's no crossplay or cross save.
There's there's not. Yeah, because I was super like it was new, it came out, and then I didn't mind starting over again on PC, but I just haven't had the time to dedicate a bunch of time to
Been playing Elden Ring.
Yeah.
it.
That seems like to be the perfect place to play that game because you can play it on your PC or on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, you can go
it's
between.
the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of grinding in those games where you just go and fight the same monster like 15 times waiting to get like a specific drop. And a lot of the time, it's not the most like, it's not the hardest thing you could be doing. It's totally could be doing something. You totally could be watching an episode of Supernatural while you're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and it's I also tested like going between PC and the Steam Deck, and that was super smooth. You just select to have it upload to the cloud. Easy peasy.
Very cool.
I'm surprised there's not like 20 videos on YouTube about like here's a comparison of Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch and on the Steam Deck because there's not a whole lot of games that you play on both, right? So like
True.
It's pretty apples to apples comparison, except for obviously the hardware that costs $50 more, but is like 18 more times more powerful.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it works really well. And also, we got news that you can use Game Pass on the Steam Deck now.
Yeah, how's that working?
So I haven't gone through everything because it's not a simple thing of just like, hey, now there's Game Pass. But Microsoft has worked really closely with Valve to set this up, and you basically install Microsoft Edge on the Steam Deck, and you play through Edge. Well, hey, Microsoft's not gonna let you do it any other way.
So is it like xCloud on the Steam Deck?
I think so, yeah. And then access to Game Pass through it.
Right.
Oh, so it's not running natively. You're playing like off of a server.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you can go in and download from Game Pass onto the Steam Deck because I was just like dabbling, looking at it.
Sure.
But either way, it's pretty cool to have Game Pass on Steam Deck. There's so many games you could just try.
Yeah, like Tunic.
Tunic is on there. It's true.
Yes,
Tunic
I feel like that's the game everybody wants to be playing right now if they could quit their Elden Ring habit.
Yeah, it's true. It's a game that has astounding reviews. People are loving it.
Yeah.
And it's like a very difficult Zelda. Is what people are saying.
Yeah, it's like Zelda and Dark Souls. It's like peanut butter and chocolate. You know, like, oh, what are your two favorite things? Zelda and Dark Souls. Well, have I got the thing for you?
Yeah, it sounds like exactly what I want to be playing if I wasn't playing Elden Ring already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's good. Like it's really good at what it does. It looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it came out about 20 days too late.
I mean, I'm going to be playing it once I finish Elden Ring for sure. Because it's on Game Pass. Why wouldn't I play it?
Yeah, I couldn't play it right after. Like I needed like a palate cleanser.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
I figured Gran Turismo is the way to go because I just need something different besides like a loot driven open world kind of hard game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right into Strangers of Paradise. I'm like, okay, here we go again.
Yeah, that should be a palate cleanser, right? Is that a hard game?
If you play it on hard, they actually have difficulty settings.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's weird. Yeah, but it is a difficult game. It's made by Team Ninja. They make Neo, and it's basically Neo Final Fantasy.
Is it? It doesn't look like it because you got like a
Mhm.
team that you're fighting with, right?
You can't. Yeah, you fight with a team. You.
But it plays like Neo.
Oh yeah,
Really?
big time. It's a Souls game. It's a Souls Final Fantasy game.
Fuck, that sounds good though.
It does, right?
I know. I was like, ooh. It's like when we first heard the rumors that Team Ninja was making an action RPG with Final Fantasy, and I was like, oh, is that going to be like Neo Final Fantasy? And I played the demo. I think I've got like 5 hours in the demos that they had, and I was like, yeah,
Does your
this
demo
is everything
progress
I want.
carry through?
If you play the demo now, yeah, not with the
Okay.
early kind of tests. But yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
sounds
like
really
what
good.
Furcado said. It's Neo, but with the old Final Fantasy job system.
Yeah, because this is like a retelling of Final Fantasy 1 for the NES.
It
right?
is. Yeah, yeah. It's a retelling of Final Fantasy 1, but you're learning about it from the bad guy's side, like how he became the bad guy.
Chaos.
Yeah. Yep. I'm
It's
excited.
such a bad idea. It just might work. It's like if G.I. Joe invaded Final Fantasy and became the bad guy.
Yeah, I might
I'm
want to check that
excited
out
to
too.
laugh at all of the cutscenes.
Yeah, they are
It is
bad.
silly.
Like bad, and I think they are aware, right? Doesn't it feel like they're self-aware of what they're doing?
It's like it's the Japanese gaming cheese, where you have this certain type of cheese in a lot of Japanese games where it's like, oh, that's just funny. You're like, what are they doing? This is absolutely ridiculous and completely cheesy, and it's just an absolute meme. So I think they have to be aware.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I gotta pick this one up.
I will definitely be playing
I
it.
feel like I need to
after
play it
Elden
too,
Ring.
but I don't know when. Maybe that might be a summer game for me. We'll see.
Could be.
Yeah. This year is really shaping up to be a special year as far as video games go. Like, so many big ass games got delayed into this year. Like, so we still got so much to look forward to this year. There's too many to possibly play. It's just any kind of game want that you have is totally going to get fulfilled this year. It feels like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Pretty amazing. Yep.
And I'm.
Do you think anything has a shot at beating Elden Ring for Game of the Year?
Elden Ring 2.
I personally would say no. I did hear some people saying maybe God of War, but Elden Ring.
I really like God of War.
Elden Ring is just like such a special game. It's not just a really good game. It's a special game. It's massive. It's got everything. Like I don't know. I don't. For me, definitely not.
It's like a once in a decade type of game because think about all the technology that had to be refined and developed over time from FromSoft. They had to make multiple titles.
Let's not give them too much credit on the tech side.
No, I mean the systems. Like they had to refine that stuff, and every game that they released, they were working on making that or trying to work on that to be better. And you can see that in Elden Ring. So much of it, it's just there's so much of all the games that they've released that are in Elden Ring, and it took them that much time to be able to get to a place where they could release a game like Elden Ring. So
the amount of customization in that game and having it matter like as much as it does, like every place you explore, like it could be like a game-changing item,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space Trip in chat mentioned 3 games that I think are probably strong contenders, right? Starfield,
which we know comes out this nothing year. About.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild 2 and God of War 2, like Watt said.
I don't think Breath of the Wild 2.
I can't imagine Breath of the Wild 2 being as good for me as Elden Ring based on my enjoyment of Breath of the Wild, which I liked but didn't love.
I really liked Breath of the Wild, but like Elden Ring is the adult mature version of Breath of the Wild with an insane amount of complexity already baked into it. And I'm like,
it's a shame Eric's isn't here so you could both be like Switches for babies.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I mean,
it's fun when he's not here.
It just is like a more adult version of what you'd want to experience, unless you specifically are looking for like the Zelda tropes and the storyline in that.
Yeah. Well, the game speaks to me more. Like, I thought the physics puzzles in Breath of the Wild were really cool, but I got bored of them really fast. I thought like the world was really cool, but it was a little too cutesy for me. Like the moblins were a little too I don't know. And I really hated the dungeons. Like I really did not like the dungeons in Breath of the
main
Wild. And I
ones?
love the dungeons in Elden Ring, you know. I didn't like the
And
breakable weapons. I love the gear in
mm,
Elden Ring.
Hmm.
and like this is a very special game for FromSoft because it sold 12 million copies as of when, they broke the news that it sold 12 million copies. And it took so Sekiro is still only at 5 million. Dark Souls
Yeah.
3, it took 4 years to get to like 10 million. So this is
Wow.
Yeah.
like a really groundbreaking game for them. This is a game that has finally cracked into everyone giving it a try,
It's
which
way
is
more accessible than any of the
way more.
previous games.
Yeah.
It's so like they made it easier without putting an easier mode in. Like it's still there. It can still be
Mhm.
difficult if you want to be difficult. Just don't use the summons. Like make it difficult for yourself. But it's way more accessible for most people.
Well, it's also open world. It's like it's Skyrim meets Dark Souls, with
Yeah.
the amount of different. I mean, there's no skill trees specifically, but like if you look at the size and the journey that you can go on in Elden Ring,
Yeah.
it makes you think of games like Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, but then the combat system of all the Dark Souls and Bloodborns from the
Yeah.
past and all that.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
And every character I get to know, I was thinking the highlights are going to be the demigods and seeing like their kind of realms or castles or whatever. But the characters that I've met and gone on their quests and learned about them, like I'm really connected to all of them. They've been great. I'm
Mhm.
devastated about
Shame you
one of
got to
them.
kill him, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, it's a pretty special game.
It's a very special game.
It's
It's a
like
game.
like I said, it's a
It's
once
just
in a decade game.
It's a once in a decade game. That's the thing. Like you
Mhm.
can have conversations like, yeah, I'm sure God of War is going to be great. Starfield, I don't all we know is that it's a game. So I can't even talk about Starfield. People are just excited about it.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, sure. But this is a game that comes around so infrequently and is
Yep.
so massive and does have so many things so incredibly well that I just don't think anyone else has a chance.
Yeah.
Really.
There's a high amount of polish. Like it takes a long time to do that level of polish. You either have to have already made the assets in the past from previous games or spent a bunch
Yeah.
of time on polishing it. And I mean, there is a few spots like sometimes the underground cavern mining areas, they kind of look the same in Elden Ring. So there's that, but
Yeah.
it's
You
really
run into that less as you go though, too. It's like
Mhm.
at first the game, like the first 20 hours of the game, I'm like, okay, I get the loop of this game. You're gonna go into all these caves and clear them out and get some loot, and then go to the next one until you can fight a boss. But that gameplay loop you kind of leave behind. You still will go into caverns occasionally, but far less frequently.
Yeah, well, I'm just, when you do visit them, like you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I could see them reusing this stuff here and there, but
Yeah.
there's so little to complain about unless you're looking for like absolute next gen graphics. Like it's missing on that front. It's not gonna it's not gonna compete with the Forbidden West, Horizon Forbidden West. Like that clearly looks better in my opinion, but the game is just special. It's got that
It's a
special
special game.
ingredient.
It's a special game. And there's definitely been moments I like the framing that they do in Elden Ring when you first come to an area and the way that they frame it to show you the set piece initially is
Mhm.
really beautiful. There's been a lot of times where I've looked around and gone, "Whew, this place is beautiful."
Yeah. You look,
Yeah.
yeah. Just look off on the horizon and it's just incredible.
Imagine how good it's gonna look when Blue Point remasters it.
For PS5 only. That's probably why Demon
Yeah, or
Souls looks so
PS6.
damn good. They only have to focus on one single console.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, I hope that we start seeing games
Yeah.
without PS4 and Xbox One versions soon, because that is a bright future to look forward to, because that game looked amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else this week?
Who knows? I don't even know what's coming out soon. I haven't looked at a list in a while. Besides Tiny Tina's and
Yeah, the
all
Tiny
that
Tina's
good
one.
stuff.
That's like the closest to something that would pull me away from Elden Ring. But I don't. Mentally, I'm so deep in Elden Ring that I don't even want to peel back. I'm having a tough time playing Destiny, and like I usually check
Yeah.
into Destiny and like do the story stuff, and even that I'm so deep in Elden Ring. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I'm like deep in the lore of Elden Ring too. I'm reading everything, and I'm like, oh wait, who's this? This person is connected to this person.
Yeah.
And it feels good to be real connected to that.
Yeah.
When
Oh
you guys
yes,
finish this game, we'll have to do like a full on like lore episode or
I would
like a
love
spoiler
to.
episode. You
Yeah.
know, like
Definitely
really
a
talk about
spoiler
because I want to
episode.
hear about the endings that you guys got and all of that.
Yeah.
That's right. Returnal is coming out tomorrow. The update.
The DLC.
There's an update. Yeah, update to Returnal
right.
That
tomorrow.
would be really fun to play, but once again, that's probably going to be a summer thing for me too. Playing that DLC.
Yeah, I would love to jump back into Returnal. If there was nothing going on, or even just like some stuff going on, I'd be like, yeah, sure, let's go jump into Returnal.
Yeah, I really like the atmosphere of Returnal. I enjoyed it a lot. The music and all that.
Me too. Yeah.
Sound effects, yeah. Cool.
Busy week.
Yeah, busy week. I think that's the episode, right?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think so.
Talk more Elden Ring next week.
Yeah.
We need to do
tomorrow
we
night.
need to do an update, right? Of update of like where are you at, Tefty? Okay, you just did that. Cool.
Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night we're gonna do retro slot with Metal Slug, which will be fun. Metal
Cool.
Slug. You guys ever played Metal Slug? For Neo Geo?
No, never.
I never played it, but I
2D.
know about it.
Yeah, same.
Definitely
we're
know
gonna-
about it.
Doing a lot of deep research. We're into the lore of Metal Slug, and it's disturbing.
Wow, it's got lore, huh?
Well, it's metals and slugs.
You got your different alloys, your titaniums, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
slugs.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to put out your repellent for your garden, them damn slugs. Right? All right, that's the episode. Thanks for watching.
Right.
SideQuest number 133, the Elden Ring Community Podcast, episode number 3.
Episode 3
is complete. Thanks for watching. Shout out to our Patreon members and our Twitch subs for supporting the shows. You guys are awesome. And we'll see you next week. Briar, have a great Retro Slot podcast tomorrow.
Have a great retro.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.